This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what you need to know today. Armenia and Georgia signed a joint declaration last Friday establishing a strategic partnership. Speaking in Tbilisi with his counterpart, Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan described it as a landmark event and said that the two countries will also be taking steps to complete the long-running demarcation process of the Armenian-Georgian border. Pashinyan discussed Armenia's steps toward normalization of relations with Azerbaijan, including his hope that after presidential elections there next month, the negotiation process will reach its full scope based on previously agreed-to principles. Georgian Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili called this signing a formalization of the existing strategic partnership between the two countries. Georgia's relations with Armenia have always lagged in comparison to its economic and strategic interdependence with Turkey and Azerbaijan. The visit made waves in Georgian politics, but for an entirely different reason, as Georgia's pro-European president Salome Zurabishvili complained that she was not given the chance to meet Pashinyan. An outspoken supporter of European integration, Zurabishvili faced down an impeachment effort last year by the country's pro-Russian government. Ironically, it turns out that Garibashvili may not be in his job for much longer. The pro-government TV channel Imedi announced today that he'll be replaced as prime minister by another Irakli, Speaker of the Parliament Irakli Kobakhidze. Armenia has offered to sign a non-aggression pact with Azerbaijan in case the signing of a peace treaty will take longer than expected, as now appears increasingly likely. Pashinyan made the announcement yesterday at an event dedicated to the Armenian army in Yerevan. Pashinyan reiterated that Armenia has extended several proposals for security guarantees, such as a mirrored withdrawal of troops along Soviet-era administrative boundaries and the demilitarization of the borders. Azerbaijan has so far rejected all offers and takes issue with Armenia's recent weapons purchases, while receiving numerous shipments of arms itself. According to the Prime Minister, having a strong and combat-ready army is the sovereign right of every country. If anyone questions this right of ours, they question our right to exist. In this case, we will have no choice but to defend our statehood, our independence, our territorial integrity by all possible and impossible means. In cultural news, the director of the Komitas Museum Institute in Yerevan announced today that the legendary musicologist's works have been inscribed on UNESCO's International Memory of the World Register for 2023. Aspects of cultural heritage that are determined to have world significance and outstanding universal value are added in order to encourage their preservation and make them more widely accessible. The director, Nikolai Kostandian, called the honor a good opportunity for us to reevaluate and make sense of the heritage we have. In related news, Deputy Foreign Minister Vahan Kostanyan stated today that preservation of Armenian cultural heritage sites in Nagorno-Karabakh is always on Armenia's agenda. He noted that UNESCO's executive board decided back in late 2020 that a fact-finding mission should be sent to Nagorno-Karabakh to monitor the state of cultural heritage there, but Azerbaijan has refused. Despite this, the deputy minister said Armenia is still working to make such a trip happen. Practically all known Armenian cultural heritage in Azerbaijan's Nakhichevan region has already been intentionally destroyed over the past 3 decades, and it is feared sites in Nagorno-Karabakh may suffer the same fate. Despite the inability to do on-the-ground monitoring, innovative research programs such as Caucasus Heritage Watch have turned to other methods. A partnership between scholars at Purdue and Cornell universities, it uses satellite imagery to monitor the sites in and around Nagorno-Karabakh from above, regularly reporting on any destruction or potential threats they discover. Keep up on the latest news from the business sector with our new episode of Business Week Armenia. Topics include the ramifications of the sale of one of Armenia's main telecom providers, Viva MTS, from a Russian company to one based in Cyprus, and CivilNet's new revelation that one of Armenia's largest hydroelectric power plants quietly came under new ownership 2 years ago. You can find a link in the video description and on our website. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 11. That was the unemployment level in Armenia last year, according to official statistics, the lowest recorded rate in many years. Armenia's growth rate has pushed this number down, though some economists still believe the actual unemployment rate is still higher than what government data shows. A large amount of the population has still not been integrated into the workforce, and many job openings are for unattractive, low-quality positions, which often get filled by migrant workers instead. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.